Hi, everyone. Welcome into a new episode of the Anywhere Uni live podcast. Tonight, I have the pleasure to host Beatrice from the University of Navarra in Spain. And we're going to talk about English speaking programs in Spain in general and why Spain is becoming more and more attractive for international students. And then we're going to dive into the University of Navarra, their academic offers, the undergraduate courses they offer in English, and we're going to try to understand everything about the application process and the selection and how can students prepare when they want to study in English in Spain. We are in a new setup, a new podcast format tonight, and so it should be even better quality. We're very happy to have this new software with us to have an even better experience for our audience. So with no further ado, I'm going to welcome Beatrice to the stage, who is joining us from Spain. Hi, Beatrice. How are you doing?
Hi, good afternoon, Alan. Thank you.
So it's a pleasure to have you. We see more and more international students when they look at different countries. I would say 10 years ago, Spain was not something I would see every day. And these days, I feel like every student looking at international university destination will consider Spain at some point, and they can see that there's more and more options there. So why do you think Spain is becoming so attractive for students seeking an international undergraduate degree?
Well, actually, the level of the academics in Spain is pretty high. I didn't know that, and all this until I started working at the university. I think it was like Spain also, but I know the academics are really, really strong academics actually. So, and we are offering more and more bilingual programs, like so international students can come without knowing Spanish at the beginning, which is great. And also, Spanish has become one of the most spoken languages in the world. So we believe it's also an asset for them to learn it, to develop their career afterwards. So I think it's like also the affordability is cheaper than other countries, more expensive than some other countries too. But the lifestyle, the people, the culture, like I think it's a whole combination of all of that. Like more opportunities for the students to come here with all learning Spanish, the prices, the people, I think like and academics. I think it's been like all together. Because for us actually, back in my time when I was at studying at this university, uh, only one program was bilingual back in those days. So there were like few little international students and mostly from Central and South America. And nowadays it's been like growing out so fast, like 30%, and for international students from more than 100 different countries. So it's growing up really, really fast in Spain.
So you were talking about bilingual programs. So do you have to speak Spanish if you want to study your first degree in Spain?
So it depends in which university. Some of universities offer like programs like for okay. So first of all, in Spain, normally programs are all year long. Some of them like double degrees or special programs like in medicine, they are longer, like 5 6 years. And in some universities, they offer like only 100% taught English programs. Some of them only Spanish, and some of them like bilingual programs. So for us, for example, we offer bilingual programs, which means like the students can come study the first year in English, most of the programs, like three of them, they can't. Most of them, the first year is fully taught in English, and some of them even the second year, and some even the third year. But they have to graduate academic fluent in Spanish because kind of we force them to learn Spanish. We feel if it's enough for them, so we kind of encourage them and kind of force them to learn Spanish afterwards.
Yeah, I think it's fair game when you go study in a different country to have interest in that culture, and I guess the language is also part of the culture. So it's important to learn, and it's great to if students even if they come with a level that's kind of beginner, they can graduate with being fluent in Spanish.
We talk a lot. So I mean, like after 1 year, like all immersion in the city, they act like kind of like, but almost fluent actually, because we really talk a lot. And if you're like two Spanish people together with an international one, you make an effort to speak in English with them. But if you want to together, forget about it. You catch up. So it's like but they get it. We don't have the students normally that they leave because they struggle learning Spanish. We also offer like like a bridge program, like a foundation program for them to learn Spanish in order to catch up before joining the university. We have summer programs to learn Spanish. We have our own language institute. So I mean, like they get there.
Yeah. Yeah. You speak a lot, you speak fast,
I know.
you have to catch up.
Yeah, that is slow down. Sorry.
And so before we start diving into the University of Navarra um, specifically, can you explain the difference between private and public universities in Spain? Is it the same kind of what are the main differences for international students that would be considering Spain as a whole?
Okay, so basically, public universities they follow more or less the same calendar in terms of like application and requirements. And international students, depending on which program are they coming from, they have to pass the Spanish national exam in order to join and to be accepted in those universities. Also, the fees are different from national students than international students because, of course, national students they pay taxes in the country, so it's cheaper for them. And they are more expensive though for international students. So that's one thing. Private universities, this will where it gets messy. Each of the private university has its own requirements, its own application process, its own fees. So it's pretty different. Um, normally, private universities they don't have difference in terms of like tuition fees. So, like us, we have the same tuition fees for national and international students. Mm, so, yes, that's one of the main differences. So, some students that are struggling or budget is a problem with them, and they tend to go to public universities. Although the private ones, we also offer like financial aid and scholarship for international students, it's not only for national ones. But the main differences between private and public is the application process and the tuition fees.
Okay, and so in terms of recognition, in terms of the value of the degree, the fact that you collect like European university credits, that it's a degree, the degrees that are granted are recognized fully in Spain and in Europe. Is that exactly the same?
So if the undergrad program is an official program recognized by the Education Ministry of Spain, is the same. Some units has like own diplomas, and those ones are not. But the official ones recognized by the Education Ministry, they are all like recognized. Yeah, the proper
Okay,
ECTs. Yes. Yeah.
and the fact that there is, I don't know, in France, for example, the fact that you have the name university in the title proves that it's a recognized degree, because other institutions can't call themselves a university. Is it the same in Spain? Like the fact that you are the University of Navarra, does it mean that your degrees are all kind of supervised and granted by the government, or it has nothing to do with that?
Well, our degrees are recognized is that one of them, but one specialization that is like our own thing. But basically, yes and no, because there are school of businesses that they are not like with the name, the word university in the name, and they are still recognized.
Oh yeah, of
So
course,
it
of course. I'm
doesn't.
not
Yeah.
saying that the
Yes.
ones that don't have it are not recognized,
Ah.
but
Okay. Okay. Okay.
at
Okay.
least
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
one
Well.
that have it, yeah.
Yes. 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 Yeah. Fully recognized. Yes.
All right. So can you introduce us to the University of Navarra? Because students hear a lot about some schools in Barcelona, in Madrid. Business schools are very popular in Spain as well. So, what is the University of Navarra? Yeah.
Okay. So our university is young, but not that young. We were established in 1952, for example, and we've been growing up since then. It started with a law school, and then it kept developing more and more, putting new different programs. And we offer like a really wide range of programs. But first of all, like just like location wise, our uni is in Pamplona, which is the capital of Navarra. It's in the north of Spain, like in the middle of Spain, just in the north, like 1 hour from France, one from the beach, one from the Pyrenees. So we have like we're in the middle of everything, really convenient. And all our undergrad programs are in that campus in Pamplona except for our engineering programs, which are in San Sebastian campus in the Basque Country. It's like just 1 hour away. And like, yes, all those are there. And then master programs are in Pamplona, in San Sebastian, Madrid, Barcelona, because we have also our own business school for master programs, for MBAs, the IESE, as pretty well known worldwide. Actually, it's like always like top four of the world, which we're very proud of it. And but yes, but basically the main campus is in Pamplona, and there we have like a different, like a really wide range of options for students. We have a School of Economics, Business, so we have business economics with different diplomas like accounting, leadership and governance, general management, data analytics. We have like applied management, which is like I think we are the only university in Spain offering this program. It's like a mix between marketing and business, but without that much content in numbers. And then we have also the School of Law and International Relations with different diplomas too, like our American Law program. We have like international relations with current affairs, diplomacy, geopolitics. Then is the School of Communications, and it has like a global journalism, also communication and marketing with different specializations too. Like so many extra diplomas in all of them. It's just like 22 options. And then we have a humanities school with language and literature, like the PPE, history, politics and economics. You have history, philosophy, archaeology, and we have the School of Architecture with architecture and design. Because in Spain, architecture is like a really technical program, so students need a strong base in mathematics and physics. And design, they don't need them. So our architecture program will be like maybe more similar to civil engineering. Okay, and then we have the biosanitary area, the School of Education and Psychology, of course. And then we have the biosanitary area too. And then we have like biology, chemistry, biochemistry, environmental sciences, nursing, pharmacy, nutrition, and medicine. So we are really well known for the medical program too, because within the campus we have our own hospital. It's number one private hospital in Spain, and another one in Madrid. So we are like really well known for our medical program. So business economics, like medicine, is like and psychology too. Uh, and it basically is like on a different side of the campus because it's like all together the biosanitary campus with the hospital and the applied investigation medical center. And so our students can use those facilities to practice, and it's a really like hands-on program. So they have like their own labs and simulation centers and replicas from our own hospital within the school. So it's pretty like, and it's pretty cool because back in my time only like the top students from the class were able to do like exchange programs or go abroad, and now it's like you had to go. So you study international relations, for example. And the first year, the whole class had to go 2 weeks to Washington. The second year, 2 weeks to Seoul. The third year, 2 weeks to Abu Dhabi. And the fourth year, a whole semester abroad. Economics too, like the third year, a whole semester is mandatory to go abroad, and the fourth year is voluntarily. With the environmental sciences, so many trips, so many. So each of them has its own perks as for like requirements and activities and all they do. But now, like the world is more international and like nowadays. So it's good that the students are like, okay, we're based in Pamplona, so we get to taste what it is to study and to be abroad too in other countries and studying in other different universities. And some people are like, when you get to choose your preference of universities to do the exchange programs, sometimes they are like, oh, but these ones are going to run out of the best ones. And sometimes yes, sometimes don't, because people have different like reasons, motives to go to one country. They want like, maybe I'm from Hong Kong, I want to go back home. So just choose Hong Kong University. Or maybe I've never been in Australia, so let's go to Monash University. Or I want to start building my career afterwards in the US. So I'm going to go to Miami or Georgetown, Columbia, whatever. So students have different reasons to choose them, but they have a lot of opportunities to go abroad, which is really cool. And I didn't have that at my time. So sad. I was born too early.
You studied there.
Yes, I studied there long time
An
ago.
alumni.
I don't know. I know what I'm talking about.
Are you from the region as well?
I'm a local.
How big is the university? How many students are on the campus in Pamplona?
So our campus in Pamplona has around 13,000 students. So every year we get around like 2,400 new students.
Nice. And what's the proportion of international students within that mix, and kind of where are they coming from?
So around 30% are international students. This year we have 117 nationalities on campus. It's pretty bad. So of course, like maybe from a country that is only one person, and from another like probably of them. So it depends on the year actually. So every year the countries that bring more students are of course like the ones like it's number one is always one country from Central or South America. because there's no language barrier, so it's easier for them to go to Spain actually. And the second country that always bring the most students are the US. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we are
Wow.
really affordable for them. So
And what's the culture of the school? Is it a religious school? Is it a school with specific like what kind of students would find themselves happy at the University of Navarra?
so the university, yes, it is religious school, but you don't have to be in order to come to the university. So actually, we don't teach religion, but we have like we have what's called core curriculum in our programs, which is a set of subjects from the humanities side that are mandatory for students to take, regardless of the program they are studying. So, for example, you have to study ethics. Ethics apply to the field you study. Ethics apply to journalism. Ethics apply to medicine. Ethics apply to law. So there's some subject like ethics, anthropology that they had to study. But we have the students from like we know that we never ask if they're like Christian or Jewish or like agnostic. We never ask that kind of questions. Like if you're a good student, if you're a good human being, basically, and if you want to come to Spain and you want to mingle and like adapt, because people are like idealize an idea of like, yeah, Spain, sun, holidays, like party. Yes, we have to. We are really nice people, really chill. But at the same time, you have to be able, because like a big cultural shock when international students come to Pamplona, or to Spain in general. But in the north, we have the thing about being more rude. It's just, yes, we are like pretty straightforward, and no political correctness is not our strength. So for students, they had to be like really like prepared. Like I want to go there. I want to make an effort because it's not for everybody. Like our uni is not for everybody, and not everybody is from our university. I guess that happens to every university. Yes.
For an international student, so you have lots, and 30% is a big number, and it's a nice campus with 13,000 students on your campus, coming from all these different countries. So undergraduate degrees, are they all in 3 years, 4 years? Did you say 4 years? They were all.
So all programs are 4 years. Medicine is 6 years. Pharmacy and architecture are 5 years, and double degrees are 5 or 6 years.
Okay, and so double degrees would be just students combining two different bachelor degrees that they can obtain in 5 years.
Exactly, 5 or 6 years depends on how many subjects in common they have with the like. For example, we have like law plus business, so it's like 6 years.
Okay.
Okay, so there's like a chemistry and biochemistry is 5 years. So it depends on how do you mix the programs. But yes, double degrees are 5%. And then you, after 6 years, you can write with two whole diplomas and develop.
And so the standard regular degree would be a 4-year undergraduate degree. And so you're an international student. You get into the University of Navarra. Do you have accommodation on campus? Do you have to find your own accommodation? How does it work for
So
international?
the University of Navarra, we have representatives of the university that work in different countries around the world, and those people help the students with the whole process. Like they meet with families, with the students, they do the admissions interviews, they do everything. I myself am also doing that job in Asia and the UK, for example. So, I handle some of those students. I help them to come to the university. And one of the parts we help them with is accommodation. So the university offers halls of residences within the campus, but we also offer information about other accommodations outside the campus. But outside the campus, I mean, you have to realize the city is not that big. It's like driving a car, you go everywhere, like 15, 20 minutes everywhere. It's like pretty walkable too, super safe. So even if like we're like, I don't want to live outside the campus so far, it's not far. I mean, like it's like maximum like 20 minutes walk distance, walking. And there is public transportation, so you can take and get there in 10. Or you can get electric bikes offered by the town hall, and then you can bike and get there in 8 minutes. So it's really to come around. And there are housing that is only for boys, only for girls, or mixed ones. So it depends on the students what they want to choose. So we offer them all the options, and they can decide because the price range is also quite different from one to another. And the one like here, you have your own bedroom, but in this one, you have your own bedroom and your own bathroom. Here, this one includes all three meals. This one, you choose your meal plan. And so it's like a lot of different like options out there. So it depends on like if you get a flat and you just do your own thing, your groceries and everything, like maybe you can pay like 350 euros per month. Share apartment, not your own thing. If you go to all included, your own bedroom, your own bathroom, it can be like a 900 euros per month with 3 meals included everything. So it's a big difference. So the students, depending on their budget, we recommend one option or the other one. Although the first year we always recommend a student residence on campus, outside the campus, but a student residence. Because I mean, like if you go to a flat the first year with random people, maybe you're super lucky and they're really nice people, like really you get along properly. But maybe he's noisy or dirty, or and the first year can be really tough. Because first of all, you have to adapt to a new country, new culture, new language, new everything, and then if in your peace environment, you go home and then you don't feel at ease, it's not gonna be nice. So it's better to go to a student residence, you get the first year, focus on like get set on the city, get you study, make friends, and the second year get your best friends, go to a flat, and that's it. But the first year we always recommend to go to a student residence.
Yeah, that's always what I recommend to students as well. That's the
Yeah.
best way to make friends and to, especially when you're an international student, you're not a local, you don't know many people. And within the 70% of Spanish students that attend the university, would you say it's mostly local students, or is it a university that would attract students from all over the country?
We have like one third from each. So it's like around 30% are local from our region, and the other 30% are from the rest of the Spain. So it's like one third local, one third other areas of from Spain, and the other like international
That's
students.
a nice balance. All right. So before we dive into the application process and the selection for students that would be interested to apply, what are how does the tuition fee work? There is it the same tuition fee for everyone?
Tuition fee is the same for national and international students. So normally, talking about fees and accommodation, we always recommend students that at the same time they apply for the program, they apply for any financial aid if they need it, and for the accommodation. So that way they have at the same time all the information. If you've been accepted or not, your personalized tuition fee, and your accommodation. So you know, like, okay, my whole year is gonna be this amount. Can I make it? Do I want to make it? And then just make the proper decision. So tuition fees, the lowest one is around 11,000 euros per year, and the most expensive one is medicine, and it's 19,700 euros per year. Yes, they just changed it. So yes, around 90,000 euros per year, and it's the same for everybody.
Okay, so it's the same for everybody between 11 and 19, which is the most expensive in medicine.
Yeah,
It's much cheaper than other places, actually.
it's not bad.
It's,
And
not,
that's the
it's,
thing
it's
is,
it's expensive, but it's
it is expensive. I mean,
look
yeah.
at your competitors. It's quite competitive. Yeah.
But for example, like the programs in economics and business are really strong programs, and it's around 18,000. But those ones also include the exchange programs abroad, so it's like
Oh,
including the
nice.
fees. So and the it sounds so bad when you brag about yourself, but like the facilities of the university, the campus is beautiful. You see the sciences are the labs with your own station, your own microscope. It's like so yes, that costs money because we are private, we are non-profit. So yes, we are yeah, we are somehow expensive.
Yeah, that's good. It's important to say that it's not it's a non-profit, right? Yeah, so all the money is reinvested in the university, which
Exactly. So we have our own museum on campus too. And we are building now a science museum on campus too.
wow, cool.
So that's why like yeah, we keep
All right.
reinvesting.
Yeah, that's very exciting. And for students, is it possible to come visit
Of
if they are
course,
ever
yeah.
in the region? Yeah.
Actually, they go to our website and they had to register to book to book a visit, and they just have to choose like a day on the calendar. We close on the weekends, so we're not gonna open for a visit. But from Monday to Friday, you can come whenever you want, and you just choose the days that you are available to come. What do you like to visit? Like I want to visit the School of Economics. I want to visit this or that, and you put there how many people are coming, and we organize a personal tour for the students with their families. We also have like open days if you want to come, but they cannot always come those days. Moreover, if they come from like far away. So sometimes they have like, oh, I have spring break, or I have like this week off between terms or something like that. So they can just book an appointment there. We just organize it for them and they just come. We show them around the campus, the school. They get to talk with the student of the school too, and they can visit the accommodation they want to apply for. It's like mm, mostly for like moreover for international students. If you're thinking of coming, if you have a chance, just come visit the campus because you have to be like comfortable with the place you're gonna be living at like for at least 4 years. So you better like it.
How how well connected are you to airports, to or Madrid or other big cities? Like, is there other trains?
Mhm.
Like, how do students, let's say they don't have their driving license, how do they move around Spain if they're flying from France, from another country? How do they get to Pamplona, which is
So okay, we used to be better connected, I have to say, until 5 years ago. But we have our own airport. It's a small one, but it's an airport. Train station, bus station. So first, we have like direct flights to Madrid. It's like 40 minutes only, and the airport is so small. Like my flight's at 10 in the morning, I can't leave my house at 9 because you get there like there's nobody like checking in, and there's only like 3 gates. So even if it is the gate, is like let's go one step to the left. So it's pretty convenient. It's really easy to move around. Flight tickets to Madrid, as I said, like 40 minutes. And from Madrid, wherever you want to go. Train, we have like to Madrid also. The direct train is like 3 hours, and to Barcelona is like 4 hours. Um, but I mean, the trees are pretty comfortable too. You have your own space there. They put some movies. There's a cafeteria car too. So it's good. It's pretty comfortable. But yeah, it's well connected. And then if you are in France, for example, Biarritz is just like 1 hour from Pamplona. There's a bus. It's coming from Biarritz, which is convenient. Depends on which part of France you have that flight to to Bilbao or to Zaragoza too. And from there we have buses and train. So it's pretty easy. I mean, like you have to do some like stepovers, but there's no direct flight from Pamplona to Paris, for example.
yeah, so it's perfect for students that are looking for that campus life experience where
Yes.
they live with the community. Everything is there, all their friends, their classes, their activities, their social life. It's all
It's a pretty big campus actually. It's like 113 hectares. So it's pretty big. It's really green, have a river in the middle. It's like really like people from the city come just there to chill, just go for a round, walk in the dogs. It's like a really nice environment. And also students when they come to the university, they are assigned a mentor, which is a professor from the school they are studying at. And that mentor is normally like in charge of like 10 students more or less. And they can use them for anything they need. Like I'm struggling with this subject, or I don't feel at ease, or I don't like this program, this exactly out of here. So the mentor helps them with everything. The more you use them, the more they get to know you. And the more they get to know you, the better they're gonna advise you about your career development and the future, like where to go, I can help you with your internships, all these kind of things. So we always like so if you are a person that wanna do your own thing, like on your own, like don't wanna be known by anybody, don't come to our university. Everybody's gonna know you by name and surname. Maybe they don't know how to pronounce it. That's one thing, but they will know your name and surname. It's like really personal. Like it's like a really personal relationship with the students. Yeah.
yeah. All right. I personally think it's I know some students like to be in a big city like London or but then you can be further away from your classes. You don't really have a campus and that community spirit. I think it's great when students get that at least for their undergraduate degree. But all right. So let's dive into applications. So you said private universities, they kind of have their own application system. There's no centralized system to apply. So how does it work for the University of Navarra specifically? When do you apply? How do you apply? What are you looking for in that application process?
For us, application process is done through our website. Just go there, myportal.una.edu, and that's registered there. And what else students? Okay, so the whole process is the same for all programs except for medicine. Medicine is always different for everything. And so basically, they have to submit a year, like junior year transcripts. So it depends on the program. It could be like year 11, year 5, year 12. It depends. So junior year, like the penultimate year for finishing the school, transcripts and 100 euros fee payment and a recommendation letter. And with that, once we validate the information, we summon them up for an online test and an interview. If the student is coming from the UK or from Asia, they choose with it. If they are coming from other countries, this is with a different person all the time. And they do the interview is to know the student better because for the academics, we have the transcripts and we have the results in our exam. But we want to know the person too. And for that is the personal interview. And the exam they do is specific for the program they're applying for. So if they're applying to architecture, it's gonna be like multiple choice test and mathematics and physics. If they apply for biochemistry, it's gonna be multiple choice, biology and chemistry mainly. So it depends. The exam depends. So if you know you are studying economics or history, you will have to do two different exams. But yeah, is that? Oh, talking about that, we also offer an orientation test on our website. It's for free, available in English and Spanish. So if a student doesn't really know what they want to study, like are struggling, they can do that orientation test, which matches like your skills and what you like. Because it's not always the same. And it helps you out to decide, like, okay, with these skills, you will be better in this kind of path, or if you group these ones, you will be better in this other path. So it kind of helps. And our guidance person at the university, they connect the students and help them out to decide. Like, it's a whole process. But yes, but normally it's quite easy. Like, we just have like the first deadline to apply was on the 9th of December. And the students who apply then are receiving the resolutions for people in a week. 21st of January, they are receiving the resolution. So after that, they have like a month more or less to decide if they want to come or not. And then we offer a second deadline, which is in March. The 3rd of March is the next deadline. So if they apply before then, they have to do the exam on the 15th of March and the interview before them. And then they will receive the resolution on the 9th of April. And then after that is like more like rolling admission to those programs that still have spots, but mainly two deadlines.
So it's better to try to apply by the first deadline.
It's better also if you, because economics, business psychology, nursing, biomedical engineering, those programs, the first deadline is almost full, like wasting students. So if you want for those programs, just go for the first deadline. Internationals, we also recommend them to apply for the first deadline because that way, also like if you need any financial aid, because as I say, we're private nonprofit, so at the beginning of the year, we have money. At the end, we have no money. So you need like, yes, so you need any financial aid to apply at the beginning. And also for international students, it's also good to know like early on, like January, if they're gonna come. So this have plenty of time to prepare all the paperwork they need to apply for the visa afterwards. Like, but it's a process for them to come here afterwards. We help them with that. We help them with all the whole process, but it's different.
And do you need an English speaking, like an English language test on top of your own test, or your own test kind of replaces for a student that wouldn't be studying in English, for example, a student in the French system, do you need an English language test as well?
We do have our own. So the day of the exam, they do the content exam for economics, architecture, whatever, and they have to do the language assessment test for English or Spanish. This is just for us to know the level to advise them. Like, for example, okay, so you have great academics, you have great profile, but your level of English is like, ugh. So you need to reach this level by this time in order to be able to join this program. Or with Spanish, like, okay, you know what? You need this level of Spanish, but the first year is in English, so you have one extra year. So we advise you to take some program or take some classes, blah, blah. So the language part is an assessment for us to know, like the level to advise them properly. They can be accepted conditionally to the level of language, for example.
Okay, and so even if they have an English language test, they have to take that part of the test.
Yes, it's mandatory for every single student, regardless nationality, regardless language of instruction. I know, like, I'm a proper British person. Okay, good, you have to do it. So everybody has to do it, like everybody. Like the English and the Spanish one. I'm from Colombia. Good.
Because in some places in Spain, they also have a standardized test that can be replaced by the SAT. In your situation, you have to take your test. You cannot use the
I mean,
SAT.
like our test is for free. I mean, like it's within the admission test, so it's not extra one. It's like all together the same day. They do the content one and the language one. The only program that requires the student to submit a certificate of the language is medicine.
Yeah, we'll talk about medicine in a minute because I feel
I
as you said,
know.
it's a whole different picture. So
I
we'll
know.
get into that in a minute because I know students are very interested to look at different places to study
Okay,
medicine.
so for example, with the language of like go with the Spanish, for example, like let's say like they want to study psychology and and it's mostly in Spanish. So okay, you're accepted, but your language Spanish is so bad. We offer them, for example, to keep the spot and while they do the international foundation program, which is a whole year where they learn Spanish and take subjects in English from the field of interest too. So we offer always options. It's just that's why we do the assessment test to know how to advise them there.
Okay, so you have that. It's great to know that you have that international foundation year for students to
Yeah.
their level of Spanish if they need to. Um, okay, so do you need recommendation letters? Do students have to write
Mhm.
essays?
No.
Uh, no, no essays. Recommendation letters, yes.
Yes. So if the recommendation letter is confidential, we normally encourage the counselors to send us to us directly because sometimes it's confidential. Sometimes even the transcripts are confidential. So whatever anything is confidential, just send it to me. Like just send to us directly, and that's it. But basically, to complete the application, just need that the transcript, the recommendation letter, and 100 euros payment. That's it. That 100 euros payment allowed to apply for two different programs. Like as I said, like I don't know if I want to study marketing or apply management, so they can apply to both of them with those 100 euros. And in case they don't need the exam is not so good or the profile is not the right one for applied management, for example, but is a good profile for another program. We tell them like, okay, you've been rejected in this one, but what do you think about this other one?
All right. And what does the interview look like?
The interview is more like a personal interview. So we like to know about the students' life, like their background, like their hobbies, their family, like to see because we want students that are going to be able to adapt when they come to Spain and they're going to be able to socialize. And because we know, as I say, Spain, we talk a lot. We're like really social people. So if you are not or are not willing to try, it's going to be hard for you. So in the interview, we also see like the willingness of the student, and also like for example, like, my parents are forcing me to go there. So okay, don't come. And also through the interviews, more than once, I've been able to guide the students to another program because they didn't really like the one they thought they liked. It's like I like medicine because I love Grey's Anatomy. It's not like that. So sometimes it's good the interview also to advise them better and to reorient them into the right program. But it's mostly for us to know them like as a human being, like your hobbies, what do you do in your free time, like are you just a person, are you more like into books, are you like into art? It's also like it hits us for example, some students are like, I'm into drama clubs. Like, perfect, like, go for it. Or I like to play the piano. Okay, we have an orchestra, go for it. So it's also to see if they are gonna be able to match here with the university, if they're gonna be able to succeed here in the environment. Because as I said, it's not for everybody. We are like really interested sometimes. So that's not a good fit for us either. So
No, that's good. That's always good. I love it when universities offer interviews. I think it's very
yeah.
important to see the fit, to get to answer
Mm.
students as well, and to see if the contact is there and the dynamic that is going to be in the classroom. So it's great. So let's dive into medicine to kind of close the. Uh,
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna be
it could be another hour. I have to be brief, but can you tell us? So you said already a few things. You said it was 6 years. It was 19,000 euros. Um, can you do it fully in English? Do you have to have a level of Spanish at the beginning? Is it mixed English?
Okay, so the medical program, we have one that is fully taught in English and one that is the medical plus international medical program. That one's bilingual. So in that one, the first year is fully taught in English. The second year, only like a couple of subjects are in Spanish, are in English, because the third year students have no classes. So the third year they do rotations in our hospital in Pamplona or in our hospital in Madrid, which means they're gonna be dealing with alive patients, and those patients tend to speak Spanish. So yes, so they need to be fluent in Spanish by the third year. So that's why, like the first year in English, we offer Spanish lessons in the lunchtime. Just join, like go for it. And the second year is like, okay, just get the Spanish vocabulary in the classes also, because the third year you're gonna be all in into Spanish conversation. And we also teach like empathy. So you have to show empathy like by being fluent with this. It cannot be like you playing where. You have to be like, good morning, how are you doing? How are you feeling today? Like it's more like you show your empathy through the language, just the body language. So
What's the level of Spanish you would say that a student needs to have by the end of high school to hope to get to that level of Spanish in the medical program? What level of Spanish are you expecting?
okay. So actually, it really depends on the student. I have students coming here with zero level of Spanish and getting to the B2 within 1 year. They're like, wow, you're good. And some students getting with a B1, they struggle to get to the B2. So it really depends on the student's ability with languages in general. But the higher the better. At the end of the first year, they're gonna need a B2 level of Spanish in order to be able to continue to the second year. So the higher the better. Like if they have a B1 perfect A2, we can work with that because they can do the summer program, our whole year of Spanish too, and even the summer program between first and second year. Like, and also it's like medicine just the other programs. Like if you're admitted into medicine but your level is like 0, we can offer you like, okay, we keep your spot, do the foundation, but next year, you have your spot within medicine.
So that's for the level of Spanish.
Mhm.
So how do you select students? Because medical degrees tend to be more selective. So what are the different elements? Is the same thing? Is just your own test and interview, or anything else?
Okay, so I forgot to explain one of the application ways is different for IB students. Okay, so IB students have two options to apply to the university training program. One is as everybody else, like a junior year, like transcripts, our own exam. So transcripts counts 60%, and our exam and the interview the other 40%. That's it. And with that, like unconditional resolution, if you're in, yes, it's a graduate. The other option the IP students have is that if they meet the requirements of the school they are applying to in their predicted scores, they don't need to do the admission test. The language test, yes, but not the admission test. And so they received, if admitted, they receive a conditional offer. If they meet our requirements, not the predicted, our requirements in their final scores in July, they are like unconditional offer finally. And that's for IB. And that way, they can use that same thing for medicine. So medicine for no IB students, they have to submit year 12 transcripts, but they have to do two exams. One is the ISAT, and one is our exam. So ISAT will be 30%, our exam 40%, transcripts 30%. So it's kind of messy. So students have to do two exams to get into medicine if they're not doing IB with the predicted.
And so even if you're, let's say, you're doing a French back with predicted, you still have to do the 2 exams.
Unless you are IB student and meet the predicted scores, you had to do the two exams. Yeah.
And the IB students, they have to do just your own exam, not the ISAT. Is that
No. If they meet the predicted scores, they don't have to do any exam, only the language assessment.
any exams?
No exam. Yeah.
And the other one's 2 exams.
Yes. If the IB don't meet the predicted, they have to do both exams too. So it's only if
Okay.
they have the
And
right predicted scores.
so does it change every year? The grade is, for example, for IB, what is it?
No.
The score?
So IB, the minimum we require for medicine is at least 37 points, TLK included, having high level 6 in biology and chemistry. So if you have those predicted scores, you can apply without doing the two exams.
In terms of the timeline, then you just have to meet that. You have to get that 37, you have to get the 6s in biology and chemistry, and then you're fine and you can move on without exams.
Yeah. So let's say, for example, you're on your last year and you get predicted 40 points, level 7 and 6. Okay, perfect. To apply in January, you get, okay, conditional admission. Okay, and then enroll, blah, 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 blah. And then they get in July the final scores and they get 37, high level 6. Okay, still meet the requirements. So it's still being accepted. If you lose like 36 or 105 there, you're out.
And so it's only for IB students. Any other curriculum, whether it's US, French, A levels, they are eligible, but they need to take the 2 tests. No, okay. And how do they prepare for this test?
Well, for our test, we have like examples of questions and papers in our website. And for the ISAT, they have their own thing explaining that and papers in their own website. We used to have before the biomedical admission test by Cambridge, but they stopped offering it. So that's why we had to find another like option for international students.
And then the interview, is it also a personal interview, or the medical interview is more specific? I mean,
The interview, like, is always a personal interview. IB students apply with predicted. Since they don't do an exam, they have a second interview with the School of Medicine directly, and it's more like not professional, but more like into depth into medicine, like more about studying habits, weaknesses, strengths, like if they have done any shadowing, or more questions like related to the medical field, or like more into that experience.
And is that important for students to try to engage in job shadowing, internships within medical hospitals or within positions of care? For others, like, are these important experiences to have, or is that
I
necessary?
mean, if they have it, is good. If they don't, it's understandable too, because not every country is so open to have students in the hospital doing shadowings. And with COVID, everything stopped for a while too. So some students struggle to find opportunities. So if they have them, it's perfect, but it's not gonna be like, oh, you have none, like something like that. Like, but I'm like, if they have them, it's better for them actually, because some people romanticize the idea of like medical program, and then once they see when they're there, they see the pace of
Mm.
like working and oof, the hours, the stress, like your so much left in your hands, literally. They not everybody's like one student was like, I'm fine. I just skip anatomy class. Like you can't just skip anatomy class. Like but it's disgusting. It's like don't do medicine. Like so for them it's good also they have the chance to do it because maybe they open their eyes to know like if they really want to study that program or not.
Yeah, it's more to convince you that they know what they're doing and they know what they want to study and they've exposed themselves
Yeah.
and they understand what it means to study medicine and become a doctor, and a requirement that you have to have it.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so it's quite clear.
Also, the medical program offers rotations abroad. So, because our medical curriculum was built along with Harvard Medical School, so we are recognized by the WFME association too. We have this the quality CEO, so we're like we're well recognized, and we have like they can do rotations during the summer from the third year onwards, and they have like 4 to 10 weeks every year. They can do it if they want to. With our partner universities, you can go to Karolinska in Sweden, you can go to Singapore, like Taiwan, you can go to the US if you want to go back there. So it depends, but they offer that option too for them.
So I'm curious because for IB students, it's quite clear in terms of the level you're expecting. Let's take a French back student. What are there specific grades that they need to have? Any specialties that they need to have? Are the scores that are required for the test very, very high? Do they need to prepare for weeks and weeks? Like, how competitive is it? Just for students to help students gauge whether or not they could be competitive. And I'm interested to know as well for the other programs, but let's start with medicine because that's
Okay.
where we're. Yeah.
So, I mean, if a student wants to study medicine, I mean, it's on their own good to have a really good base in biology and chemistry
Mm.
because those are the main subjects that are going to be like exam out. In terms of like numbers, so French back out of 20, they need at least 15 to be able to be allowed to apply.
Okay.
So the higher the better. So normally students accepted into the medical program because medicine is in the other way around. So for example, other programs transcripts are 60% and the exam 40, but in medical program transcripts are only 30%. So you have to really nail the exams. So sometimes even if your scores, because we know the French system is quite strict and the scores I don't know always like as high as in other diplomas. So we take that into consideration too. Okay. Um, but yes, in medicine program, at least 15 out of 20 in the French system, and you have to nail the exam.
Yeah, and the exams, yeah, you need to prepare
And
it.
really, really strong base in biology and chemistry, seriously, because the exams are like biology and chemistry, a little of physics, but mostly biology and chemistry.
Yeah, that's something that's sometimes hard for students to understand because with the French system now in the in final year, you can only keep two specialties, and students are afraid to give up math to focus on biology, chemistry, and physics, which are um, and you can take still math, but at a slightly lower level. But usually for medicine, it's probably better to focus on chemistry and biology if they can.
Yeah. We only require maths for architecture and engineering, like maybe like also economics, but medicine is biology and chemistry all the way. And I looked at physics. We never asked for math for medicine.
Yeah, yeah. All right, and so for the we're going to conclude on that because I see the time passing by, and I don't want to take too much
Sorry,
of
I
your
talked
time.
too
And
much.
for the other programs, it really varies between the programs, or is it also around a 15 for French back that you would say on average for students to
Oh
start
no,
being
the other
competitive?
programs don't have the minimum requirement. The other programs. No, it's only medicines, the special
So even
ones.
students a bit lower than that could try.
Yes.
All right.
And the IB students also like they cannot be predicted for other programs and it changes. Like engineering 34, Like the PhD program have the different
And
requirements.
for all the other programs, it's the same. For IB students, they might not have to take the test if they have the right predicted grade.
Exactly. Although I only recommend apply with the predicted if you meet them for medicine. Because for the other ones, I mean, like, it's better to get an unconditional offer.
Yeah,
So just like, oh, but I have to do an exam. Yes, but you get an unconditional offer if you're
It's that
accepted. You don't
pressure.
have to wait until
Yeah.
exactly the uncertainty until July. Like, yes, yeah.
All right. Great. I think that's a lot we covered already. Would you have anything else, any advice for 15, 16, 17-year-old students kind of looking at Spain and maybe, University of Navarra is something new that they're discovering now. They've been to Madrid. They don't really know the region, maybe.
As I say, like, if you have the chance to come to Spain, please do so. And we'll organize everything for you. If they don't, it's fine. But please just contact the representative in your country so you can start getting the right information on time. So, because like you don't want to do everything like leave everything for the last minute. Because I say like the first deadlines and programs are already gone. So it's better like if you start like in your early years, like to decide and to choose the right subjects in the last years. So it's good they get in touch with our representative in the country so they can get the best information as soon as possible. So they can prepare decision afterwards. Hmm. And if you want to come to Spain for summer to learn Spanish, more than welcome to.
Okay, so we have some questions in the chat. Oh, yes. So which score is ideal or needed for the ISAT exam and admission test in medicine? Do you have a
Okay, so yes and no, because it depends on the year. It's like a gospel, like a curve. So it's by percentile. It's like, for example, on the ISAT, when you get the scores, you get a number and a percentile. So in which percentile are you, like 5%, 15%, 70%? So the higher the percentile, the better. So sometimes maybe you are like in the 70%, like, ooh, you're nailing it. And sometimes you are in the 80 and you're like only 80. So it depends on the year actually. And each exam is different. So it's not like
so
a
it's really
number.
a ranking kind of based, and you have to be the
Exactly.
highest
Yeah.
competition. Okay.
So it's by percentage, but it's also like the ISAT score counts 30%. Our exam counts 40%. And the transfers from the school 30%. So you have to put them all together. So it's not like an exact number that is
It depends. If you have higher grades, then you might have a slightly lower
maybe
test.
they balance somehow.
It's all about balance. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a question in Spanish. Can you read it? Because I'm not.
Yes, I can read it. Okay, so yes, if you're graduating with the Prince Baccalaureate, you have to do the ISAT too. So the only students that skip the ISAT are those applying with the IB predicted, or those ones. Okay, so the ISAT can be skipped if you want to do only our exam here in person at the university. So that option is not normally popular between international students because they don't want to fly all the way to Pamplona just for an exam. That's why we offer the ISAT for them. But if you feel like you're nearby, you want to do the in-person exam, you can do only our exam in March and the transcripts and the interview, and that will be it. So that way that's the only option to skip the ISAT.
Yeah, we have we have lots of students in Spain, so that's good information.
Okay, so about accommodation in San Sebastian, there are different options too. They are like student residences. There are only two that are linked to the university. One is only boys, one is only girls. And in our website, actually, you can see in the housing part, you can see options for housing within Pamplona or San Sebastian, Madrid, or Barcelona. And San Sebastian, you can see options like the host of residences. You can see also options for student residences and flats. Because there are some companies that arrange share apartments for students, like 3 or 4 girls in the same apartment with everything included, or this kind of thing. So you can find all the information also on our website for that and check which one fits your needs better. You talk about the campus in Madrid. I didn't know about that. Oh, no. So sorry. Yeah. So no, our main campus is in Pamplona. All undergrad programs are in Pamplona except for engineering, which is in San Sebastian. In Madrid, we have one of the campus we have for master is in Madrid, and also one of our hospitals is in Madrid. So students studying medicine on the third year, they had to do rotations the whole year. They can choose to do them in our hospital in Pamplona or in our hospital in Madrid. But the campus for studying in Madrid is only for master programs. The same as the one more. And I used to change program after the semester year if it was not upgraded. Okay, so changing program. Okay, it's easier to move from a science undergrad to a social science program than the other way around. And it depends on which one. In your case, for example, psychology, it gets almost like completely fall in the first deadline. So moving into psychology like in the middle of the year is not an option. There is no way to go there. Normally the moving programs is normally done between the first 2 weeks of classes, because afterwards you have already missed too many classes in order to catch up with exams. Because the calendar, how it is like you have classes, medicine is different. You have classes September, October, November, exams in December. Classes January, February, March, April, exams in May. And if you pass everything, you could go at the end of May. If you miss, if you fail some subjects, you have the retakes in June. So if you change programs, let's say, and all programs start in September. So if you change programs, you want to change in November, you have missed almost the whole first semester. So you can't change to another one the second semester. What some students do is they change for the second semester, for the second semester of the International Foundation Program. So they get to learn Spanish and they get to do some subjects in English from the program they want to study afterwards. If they pass those ones, they don't have to retake them again next year if admitted in the program you want to study. So let's say you're doing biochemistry, you want to go to psychology. So you decide that in October. So you can do the foundation from January to May and take a couple of subjects from psychology then. And meanwhile, apply for psychology for the next September. I don't know if I explained myself properly, but it's always easier to move programs between the same school because you can transfer more credits. But anyway, it's not impossible. It's just some programs are harder than other ones, basically. With that, is for in English, we need to do a Spanish language test. Okay, so every student have to do the language assessment test, because that way we know where are you standing at. So let's say you get a B1 level of Spanish, so that way we can offer you class the first year for your right level of Spanish to get to the B2 level at the end of the first academic year. Okay. If you happen to have like an A2 level or an A1, like zero level of Spanish, then the options are different. We can tell you, okay, we could be reporting to medicine, but you have to do the International Foundation program because there's no way you can get like 4 level of Spanish in 1 year. It's too hard. So that's why everybody's have to do both exams. So we know how to advise you better about the next steps to take in order to get to the right level on time. Okay, you talk about ethics classes that are mandatory. It is not oriented to a specific religion, right? Oh, no. For religion, we have another school. Theology school is for religion. So students that want to take religion classes, they can go to theology school. Ethics are just applied to your field of study, like ethical procedures or ethical behaviors or these kind of things, like applied to. So your ethics apply to medicine are different that the ethics apply to law or ethics apply to journalism. But it's like you want to teach students how things are done, but also why are they done this way, and we want them to develop their critical thinking. So that's why ethics and anthropology are taught in every single program. Yeah.
That's great. Thank you. I think we went all the way through all the questions, and it's just past the hour, so that's perfect. All right. Thank you very much, Beatrice, for your time, your expertise, and all these key informations. I think I learned a lot as well. So now it's going to be easier for me to talk about the University of Navarra.
Yeah, and any questions?
Yeah, I need to come visit the campus. That's the next thing I need to do. All right. So thank you, everyone. And thank you, Beatrice. And thank you, everyone, for following the podcast. And we'll see you in another episode of the Anywhere Uni live podcast. Bye to everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.